kind of weird. That's like suing the DMV to get a license to shoot spacecraft into when it's disallowed or something by federal law.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Will and welcome to Copper Jacket TV. So today I've got a pretty big update for you in a case out of the state of California that is currently sitting up at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. This is a case that we have been talking about for years now, dealing with open carry in the state of California. Now, regardless of what you think about open carry, whether you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, whether it gives you a tactical advantage or a disadvantage, that shouldn't matter. This is about the constitutionality of being able to carry in the manner that you so choose. And again, we've got a pretty big update coming from the Ninth Circuit, so let's get to it. Now, whether you choose to carry open or concealed, if you're somebody who carries to defend yourself or your loved ones, you need to check out the main sponsor of this channel, which is Attorneys on Retainer. With that Attorneys on Retainer membership, it's like having an attorney at your beck and call, in your back pocket, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because heaven forbid you should actually have to defend yourself, you might still be the one that ends up in handcuffs. And Attorneys on Retainer will be there to defend you. It is absolutely priceless. Check it out down in the description box. There'll be some discounts down there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, the case that we're talking about today is Baird v. Bonta. Again, you guys might have heard that on this channel before. We have been talking about it for years. Baird v. Bonta deals with California's restrictions on open carry. Now, a lot of you might not be aware, but open carry is legal in some parts of California with a permit. Now, in order for it to be legal and for California to be able to issue a permit, you have to live in a county that has less than 200,000 residents. So that works out to, I think, less than 5% of the state which has access to one of these permits. But do you think one of these permits has ever been issued? Well, apparently, according to the state of California, there is no incident where one of these permits has actually been given out. Now, to top that off, if you don't live in one of those counties in California that has 200,000 people or less, open carry is just simply banned to you. But to make matters even worse, if you lived in one of those counties with 200,000 or less, and you actually did get one of those stupid permits to be able to open carry, which you shouldn't need in the first place, you can't leave the county that it was issued in. So even if you got one, that would be the only place you could carry. You could not then open carry through the rest of the state like you could with, let's say, a CCW. Now, even though I don't advocate for open carrying, and I honestly don't think it's a good idea, I still think it's constitutionally protected conduct, and if somebody chooses to do that, they should be able to do so. So again, we have the case of Baird v. Bonta, which challenges California's scheme to ban open carry in, again, more than 95% of the state. Well, just a couple days ago, there were oral arguments held at the Ninth Circuit, and one of the judges on that panel was Judge Dijk, the same judge that gave us the video dissent in Duncan v. Bonta, the guy that is absolutely pro-2A. Now, Judge Dijk had some absolute zingers, and he definitely put California's attorney to the test. As a matter of fact, he berated the California attorney, in my opinion, on multiple occasions because he could see right through what the California attorney was trying to do.
I think his answer was that he is not interested in applying for a license whatsoever. So his relevant conduct...
Right, but you keep saying that, but the license doesn't get him what he... Because nobody could give him a license, right? Because some of this... You would agree that some of the stuff he wants to do, like literally anywhere outside his county, he cannot open carry anywhere outside of his county with a license.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So what good does it do to apply for a license that if what he wants to do is carry outside of his county? I don't understand your argument on that. Who should he sue if he wants to get an open carry license to open carry in San Francisco?
Your Honor, the statute doesn't allow him to get an open carry
license. Okay, so who should he sue in order to open carry in San Francisco?
I think he would still need to sue the local licensing authority.
That's kind of weird. That's like suing the DMV to get a license to shoot spacecraft into when it's disallowed or something by federal law. First of all, you're banned by law from open carrying in, let's just say, major metropolitan areas or in urban areas, counties over 200,000 in population. Is that correct?
You're banned from getting a license to open carry in those large
and so you're banned from carrying because if you can't get the license, you can't carry. Is that correct?
Well, that's not entirely true, Your Honor. There are other exceptions to the open carry prohibition, including in sort of an exigent circumstances exception. So,
let's say it was just a flat ban on open carrying with a few of these allowed, like, if Iran attacks us, you can open carry, right? If they attack California. But it's a little bit like having the state characterizing this as a licensing regime is sort of like saying you can't drive a car in the wilderness, right? And then saying, and so I'm challenging that I don't know what my theory would be to challenge, and then saying, well, this is just a licensing regime. You say, wait, but there's a flat ban on driving cars in wilderness areas. It's a ban. Maybe that's allowed, but let's at least be realistic about what we're characterizing it as.
Now, even though we had Judge Van Dijk on the panel, which is great, it's still a 3-judge panel. You had Judge Smith, Judge Lee, and Judge Van Dijk. And so this can come down in one of two ways. It could come down as unanimous for either side, or it could come down in a 2-1 decision for either side. Now, while I feel that Judge Van Dijk understands that what California is doing here is unconstitutional, and he's probably going to side with Baird, I believe that the other 2 judges, based on everything that I saw from watching this multiple times, is that they're going to side with the state of California. Now, again, that's just based on what I saw and based on my own personal opinion. But it looks like we have a pretty good chance of losing Baird v. Bonta, the open carry challenge, at the 3-judge panel at the 9th Circuit. Now, if you watch my channel often enough, you know I'm a pretty optimistic person. I try and look for the light at the end of the tunnel, but in this case, I just didn't really see that light. I mean, Judge Van Dijk, obviously, he's always a beacon of hope, but the other 2, Judge Smith and Judge Lee, it really seemed to me that they were siding with the state of California. I mean, Judge Smith just absolutely grilled the attorney for Baird. And he also had some harsh questions for the attorney for California. But again, it really seemed like he had already had his mind made up and he knew which way he was going to go with this. And it seemed like that way was with California. So again, I don't see very many options for a win in this instance. However, that's not the end of it. Even if we end up losing, if Baird ends up losing at the 3-judge panel, we can still appeal en banc. If we end up losing that or they don't accept it en banc, we can still take this up to the Supreme Court. So again, this is a very important case because it deals with one of the many ways in which we should be allowed to constitutionally carry, whether concealed or open. But again, I just wanted to give you guys my own personal thoughts on this and my opinions, being that the oral arguments, again, were just days ago. I don't see a very positive outcome here. If that changes and they come out on our side, which I'd be amazed about, I will let you know about it. Losing my voice again, that's kind of what's been happening all week. So I'm just going to let you guys go. Hope you all have a good one. Take care.